Right, suns and rising moons, fellow droids. Welcome to another episode of Not the Droids podcast. I'm Danny.
I'm Mayuri, and today we are talking about Young Jedi Adventures, episodes 13 and 14. Titles are Just Like Wes, Raxlo to the Rescue, The Helpful Harvester, and Lost Little Droid. I assume these all came out with like the last episode, which was
March 19th, 2025, we got the entire rest of season two. I will say my brain is still living in Unmasked. I was
um
not ready to move. I was not ready to move on and go into the standard Young Jedi setup.
Also, first of all of that like emotional situation from Unmasked just magically poofed out of existence.
It
There
poofed out of
was nothing.
existence to Kai once again wanting to do things he does not have the skills yet, and we are. I miss.
It's just like a repeat. I'm like, I thought we've learned these lessons.
Mhm.
Kai in Just Like Wes was really, I get where he's coming from because Wes is cool, but we've done this game before,
Yeah,
right? Like I thought that they would
we
keep that
did
a
this
little bit
with
of
Belle because Belle did the cool lightsaber maneuvers.
yes.
We had that whole episode with Belle, and now we're just doing it with Wes.
And that's why I honestly feel like the writing for these episodes are a little disjointed. Because in Unmask, you got all of that character growth, you got all of that emotional depth in Kai, and then it was just like, oh hey, like
He's
that.
recovered.
But that's where I'm saying is it's just like the one thing that Young Jedi doesn't do that I would expect of a kid show. Is they don't have an overreaching plot line
See,
that is touched on.
I don't actually expect that of a kids show because my guess is that someone is doing the Tabor arc as the writer for it. And then there's these other little, let's give you a lesson in these episodes
Yeah.
that, and they get placed in. Because I feel like once this comes out, I want to go through and just watch the episodes with the Tabor arc and watch that and jump through them
Like
and just
only
only cut
Tabor.
out the others and just do the episodes that have Tabor and Kai and everyone and follow that storyline as its own standalone.
I think it would be so much more
We're
interesting.
gonna do
I
it.
I think we should because like I gotta be real with you. I that is the main story arc
It
of
is.
Young Jedi Adventures, right?
Yes.
And when I say that there's like a thread of something, like I've watched PJ Masks and Sophia the First and all of these like little kid shows, right, with my nieces and nephews
Mhm.
and Paw Patrol. There's always like one big bad, which you get, but I don't get the buy-in for it. Like
Yeah.
like the what are they called? The Gangles are the biggest bad, right? But like there's no real like nod to that in any of these secondary episodes. So I feel like sometimes these episodes might not be happening in order. It
Yeah.
feels like,
I
right?
question that. And it's
Like
interesting because we also did not get shorts with with this second season.
with this drop.
Now they have
Well,
also only dropped them as a season. This isn't a new season. This is a
yeah,
continuation.
so we did get shorts for season two.
So we got them for season two. I guess I kind of expected them for season two and a half, but
Yeah. But no, but that's where it's just kind of like the more that I'm watching these, like I said, the writing is super disjointed. We got no Nash in all four of
I
these.
made that note in all these episodes. There's no Nash, even
Not
though
a
they're
single
flying around in
Nash.
ships.
They're
Um,
flying other ships. So, like in this one, the Just Like West, we know they know how to fly like the little fighter jet
yes.
things. I like the premise of the episode where Wes is stressed. So he's like, yeah, you can run this very easy errand.
I'm gonna combat that. He was like, I'm not sure you guys can do this. Like, this is a big deal. You're taking
That's
Coaxium,
true. Yeah, Quack seems pretty volatile. I did write LOL Nubs almost dropping the box right at the
yes.
beginning of the
Also,
episode.
shout out to our Smuggler's Run because that's what you're going after in the
Yeah.
I did appreciate my note is just like, Oh, Romy, where he's just like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, no. But like, so I guess I'll recant. Wes reluctantly
Yes,
gives the task
because
to the
Kelsey
kids.
has no other choice.
He has no other choice, and so it should be easy enough for them. Obviously, the Comet Runners are in there. They're not that scary.
Hmm.
Like they literally just had this whole standoff at Yarram Tower, and you don't even get any callback to that. It's just really annoying. Not just Yarram Tower, but in the town,
Yeah.
the Cyril's like Cyrus's planet. What I forget what it's called. Vandul, whatever. Um, but that's where I was just like, they're doing all of these things, flying fancy through the asteroids. I'm like, why wouldn't you assume that the pirates could also fly fancy through the asteroids?
Yes. I'm also going to give a shout out because when we were finishing the first part of the season, I was so sick of the Gangles.
Thank
And we
God. They were
we
so
have the
annoying.
Comet Runners, which I appreciated. And the Comet Runners also have a droid. I didn't catch
I
his
also
name, but we
I
got a
got it.
droid.
Wait. I got it somewhere. Um, no, I think that's a different droid, but
You're
I have
thinking
it
of the droid in
somewhere.
the fourth episode.
Yeah. But no, but here's the thing. The Comet Runners are not as insufferable as the
No.
Gangles.
I feel like they more have like an actual like plan. I
Yes,
think it's that Salak like really bothers me.
she's really annoying. And I
Ellie
hate to be like, it's
47.
her. Yeah. I
Limited
think we've,
edition 47. Just telling you now.
but that's where it's just like I call him a tubby. The tubby droid is so cute. I literally wrote that on my paper because he walks around like a little tubby with his little arms.
Yes, so he is Ellie 47. I now need
Like,
someone, one of the pin creators needs to make him and make him an Ellie 47.
oh my God, that would be perfect. I mean, there are really good droids in this show, actually,
I
but they
think we've
don't get,
gotten some of our best droids in
yeah, in
out
this
of like the
show.
Star Wars universe in the Young Jedi.
Yeah, I don't know. This show kind of ends in like such a predictable arc. Obviously, it's a kid's show, so I can't argue that. Um, they pile a bunch of boxes and then they Jedi hop everywhere.
Yes.
And whatever. So like they get the coaxium back. And then of course the comet runners at the end, instead of cursing them, they're like,
You're cute.
they're so cute.
Look at you. We knew where you were
I
headed anyway. We just took a shortcut.
I thought that was so funny because like Salak is always like, those dang kids. And
Hmm.
these guys were like, oh, look at them. They stole the coaxium back. Oh well.
Nice, nice try, friends.
I know we tried. Um, this is where like we moved into the next one. So we moved into the next one, the Raxlow episode on
We got a lot of Raxlow.
yeah, but I have thoughts about how we got Roxlow in this episode versus the
There's the
next
next. Yeah, it
one.
was very and I think this is where we have multiple teams of writers who aren't necessarily getting the all the episodes that have been agreed to.
Yeah.
So we're getting a Raxlow who feels like the hero and wants to help versus the Raxlow that is money hungry.
Yeah, we're getting like at
And I
one
like
point
this
that's
Raxlow more than
of course,
later episode Raxlow.
right? He's helping the people
I
of
do enjoy the
this
running
town.
joke that he is constantly talking to Nubs, being like, I have no idea what you just said.
No, I said I have no idea what you just said, but it all sounds good. I thought it was funny. I mean, this is the Raxlo that we wanted, that the young Jedi influenced and told him that like, hey, not everything has to be about money and you
Yeah.
can try and save people. And I love that he's in the charity business now,
He
right? Like
is. I
they're
have that he
selling
has
the
turned his
rocks.
life around. Not only has he been working, but he has also like brought prosperity to this planet because of his trading and mining and stuff.
Yeah. I did love the moment because we got the Gangles again. But I like how Salak, this is the only nod. that we
Mhm.
have that Salak has overcome the young Jedi and doesn't see them as a major threat
Yeah.
at first because they come and she's like, yeah, those pesky kids, like, whatever, take care of them. I've got better things to do.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas before she would have crashed out and like tried to fight them, but she kept like pushing it off to her henchmen in the beginning. And I think that is a result of the situation with Tabor, where like they have now lost to Salak a few times.
Yeah.
And so she's just like not as threatened by them until
And
this
I feel like her
episode.
confidence is up because of like taking over Yarm Tower. I'm wondering if this is going to bite her in the butt in the end.
Exactly, because she didn't get what she came for. But that's why the big snowball fight at the end of this episode was adorable. There was a moment where that droid, I forget its name, but Raxlo's like secretary droid or whatever it was like, this is not what I'm programmed for, but let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Um, and then he's just like a snowball machine. I overall loved this episode because it was cute. It showed that like Raxlo really took the lessons that they taught him
Yeah.
and like made his life better, right? Like it's the same thing with that pirate who now like collects fruit from around the galaxy. And I felt that that was the Raxlo we were gonna keep, but I feel like they're just like whatever, like that's it. The next
Go to the
one.
next episode. And it's not even like there's not even a break in between.
Well, there's like two episodes directly in a row with Raxlo, and Raxlo has
And
two completely different personalities.
yeah.
He's in this, first of all, they're on a different planet, which how Raxlo is getting, he doesn't have a ship, I thought. How he's getting the harvester from one planet to the other beats me. But okay.
Like I almost would
Um,
have felt better if these two episodes were reversed, that we were seeing like money hungry
and then they
Raxlo.
remind him.
Yeah.
Like they remind him, and so he's
And
better.
then we go
And
into like I would have preferred having them come out re in reverse.
yeah, I feel like we didn't really get a lot from this episode either because I
It,
was so stuck on Raxlo being terrible again and
it
a money
felt
hungry
yeah,
like
it felt
capitalist.
semi-fillery.
It was filler up. It
Just
wasn't semi filler. It was
yeah,
filler.
it just felt like the whole point of this episode was just to be like, money's not everything. And poor Nubs was just going through it, man.
Yeah, that he was. But I will say, at the end of the episode, he was all good. He tore apart his harvester, and they were like, "We'll help you rebuild it." And the only nod that I have, and I don't know if I missed it, I was like, "Where did they get helmets and life vests?"
My thought process on that, because I saw that, I was just like, it is a ship still.
So maybe, yeah,
Like I feel like they weren't necessarily even like life vests, but you know how like when the fight, like when they're all going to fly, they have the like fighter vest
yeah, that's true.
thing and helmets. And so that was kind of my thought process on it, is that they weren't like true, but also like you never know when a water evacuation is needed from something big.
That's true. So I
So
could
that
believe
I was
that,
able to
but
look past the helmets. I actually when he brought them out, I'm like, that's actually really sweet of you, Raxlow.
that's why I like agreed that if they had been switched, it
Hmm.
would have made more sense. But I
Yeah.
just, that's where I just kind of lost it. And I was just like, hey guys, like, you're writing 12 episodes of a kids show. At some point, you guys should have been like,
Not even
hey,
12. It's like 23, 24, and I feel like there should have been communication, even if they only release half and half of how the story arc is going. And it just feels like they're putting in a story arc and then putting episodes in between with lessons.
yeah. I also don't know if you noticed, but there is an error on the Disney Plus website. The thumbnail for
Hmm.
Unmasked is a picture of Raxlow.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, how
I
did you
had
not
to double
come
check.
on?
I was like, am I looking at the right episode here?
Exactly. I was like, how do you make that mistake? You only uploaded 12 episodes to the
Yeah.
website.
And so the next thing I go into with the next episode, it just says, "Where is Nash?" Because like
Again,
I kind of gave it like a pass. I was like, "Oh, it's weird that they're flying ships and stuff." But we're now at our fourth. It's not mini short.
yeah, but it's like that mini episode. But like,
Yeah.
we're now at the fourth story with no
No
Nash
Nash.
at
No
all.
RJ.
And that's
We
where,
really haven't even like seen Master Zia. We have barely been on to New.
yeah,
Um,
we got a lot of Wes in this episode.
mhm.
And I feel like his voice changed. And I don't know, I have to go back and check, and it probably didn't, but I just feel like it was different in this episode. Um, and it was weirding me out. But like, first of all, the second this episode started, I was like, oh no, not this person again. But I didn't really enjoy the last episode with them in it, the gangly arm person.
Yeah.
And I did love that they were building a droid.
Yes, and we're on
The
Kundu Minor. Let me throw out a planet.
Yeah, so B3C4. I didn't know that the Jedi also helped people by finding parts for them.
Yeah, that
That
was
seemed
weird.
a little weird. But like
But
the whole se
but because I feel like, and let me preface with this droid finding parts situation. This droid was created that we will learn at the end to be a scout for water, which therefore helps the community. And
and
maybe
it
it is
helps the
something needed on
Jedi.
this planet because we meet the Huts, the Houthis. They speak Houthis. I don't Houthis.
Yeah.
I don't know what their actual names are because I can't remember. So, like, maybe it's because it is essentially like a charity mission because this planet obviously needs water if they are searching that hard and constantly moving, trying to find water.
So I would believe that if I believed that the young Jedi knew what that droid was for. But maybe they don't, but like Master Zia does or
Yeah.
something.
They
Right?
knew what
Because
their
like that
mission was, and maybe it was just like a lesson in that, like, you're not always going to have all the information. And
I'm
the
also
young Jedi are like, yeah, we'll deliver whatever. Let us go fly some ships. Like, they're
I'm
very.
also trying to figure out why Wes was on this mission to begin with.
I think Wes is on this mission because right now he is a Padawan learner, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like he is being put with the young Jedi to be able to learn how to train because eventually he will know he will be a Jedi Knight and will have his own Padawan. And he needs to learn
Do
to.
you think if they like whenever they end quote unquote young Jedi, he might like take on a Padawan from one of the young Jedi?
That's what I
Yeah.
am curious because he's not with his master either. He's kind of out as a Padawan on his own. And I feel like it may be that in the end, not maybe not the end of this season, but like in the
But whenever they
future,
decide to end the
once our
show.
young Jedi, because we have seen our young Jedi grow, and we have seen like younger young Jedi come in to play, that I wonder if whenever they decide to end the series, is that the young Jedi will be paired with
Yeah,
their
with
master.
Master.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. This was another one of those episodes like we got a lot of lesson
Hmm.
and like a lot of a third like a third party character is what I'm calling them.
Yeah,
Um, but we didn't get a lot of our young
our
Jedi.
kids, yeah.
Um, I did
They
enjoy
were just like in the episode because that's what the show is about.
exactly like this episode wasn't about them. It was about like not assuming things about
Mhm.
people, which was a good lesson. But our young Jedi are not learning the lesson, and our young Jedi are not really teaching the lesson.
Yeah.
Wes was just here to be like the translator. Um,
And I think that's
but
why he came into play. And I don't know if that means that maybe we will see our young Jedi having to learn new languages.
yeah, but I did
We
end
already
this
know
with being,
Liz knows some languages.
yeah, she does. I did
And
love,
mhm,
sorry, I was like, I love that at the end of this episode that all of this was for like a fancy fire hydrant.
yeah.
But no, Liz knows languages.
Hmm.
We don't know, Nubs doesn't know any other languages, right? Like he doesn't even speak, he understands English, but he
Hmm.
doesn't speak it.
He doesn't speak it, but he understands it, which in a way can be a help.
Helpful.
After reading, so I read some of the books in the High Republic series, we do find that it is standard for a Padawan to learn a language. A lot of them learn, or even Andor, we talked about it. It was Andor, not Andor,
Acolyte.
Acolyte, the other
It was
Aang.
Acolyte that they learned one
They
language.
weren't learn one language because of the guy that annoyed us was like, I know this language.
And they're like everybody chooses to do the same language as the
Yes.
I was gonna call them Chewbacca's, but that's not what they're called. But you
Wookiees.
Wookiees. Um,
Shriek, Shriek,
Shriwook.
Shriwook.
But yeah, so maybe this is the start of that storyline where they have to start thinking about a language
I'm
that
curious
they
to
want to
see if
learn.
we get to the point where our young Jedi have to focus on areas individually.
I would love to see that because like they have different strengths and I feel like Jedi do train in
Mm-hmm.
different things. And so we already know their strengths, right? Like we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see more of that. But like I said, I just kind of I don't like going through like two full episodes without a hint of Nash.
And
I
just
just like,
the drop of like from Unmasked, that emotional turmoil. I was expecting to ease back into this and I was like, "Oh no, we're just straight up here. Kai is fine. He's ready to be like, I'm the best."
yeah,
I was like,
but that's where
"Kai."
I don't understand it. It's just like, why? I am hoping that the next set of episodes we get, there is a Tabor episode or a Cyrus
Hmm.
episode. And I wonder if we also bring back that princess girl
Oh yeah, I
that
would love
they're
to see
friends
her
with.
again.
And I'd love to see the princess find out that Cyrus is a pirate. But she maybe treats him the same. They hate each other anyway.
Yeah.
But I wonder if like that emotional connection and emotional distraughtness is going to carry through to that episode. And so that's what I kind of want to see. So yeah, so until next time, we're not the droids you're looking for.
But we're the droids you're gonna get.